whatever you think.
Tell Uncle Lou I have big ideas. Got to figure out and stuff. But, of course, Thursdays, me and Uncle Lou, VSIN. You can catch him as a contributor on VSIN Network, VSIN Live as well, and then Gamblu.com, his own website. Then, of course, at Gamblu on X as well. Lou, before we get into it, how you doing, man, on this Thursday?
I'm doing great. It's a great time of the sports year. I always love these weekly visits with you, Steve. It's great, and I'm tickled to be here.
Absolutely, and I'm glad to have you. You know that. I love having you here because it just kind of breaks up the show, and we get to talk from a gambler's perspective on things instead of us just being fans and stuff. NFL. Before we get into your intro, because we're going to do that because of what you support and stuff. But just really quick, NFL schedule reporting day here. Nowadays I call it the 14-3 day out there, 15-2 day for all the fans out there.
I see.
Everybody tonight's going to look at the NFL schedule when it's released and go win. Oh well. That one's going to be a tough one. I'll mark it as a loss, but we'll probably win that one. But I'll do that as a loss. And every team in the league is going to have 15-2 records tonight by their fan base.
Well, that's funny you mentioned that because, honestly, that's it. That is how it works. And consequently, in my side of the business, when they put the numbers for season win totals up in Las Vegas, they know that. If you count up how many games there are in 32 teams times 18.
A lot.
And then you count up the over-under numbers next to that, you're going to find that the over-under numbers are higher than there are games played in the season. Why? Right. Because if you're going to take the over, you're going to pay a tax. Vegas knows that they're light years ahead of you. So don't think you're getting any edge or anything. I'm glad you said it that way because that's how
I set you up for something I didn't even think about.
That's how I look at it because at this time of year, my NFL season only just begins after the draft. So I can honestly say that even though I'm focused on college baseball and hockey playoffs right now in UFC, there is the NFL that's going to be active. That'll become way more active the month of July.
Yes.
But we're getting into it. We've had an unbelievable 2 weeks of May here as far as temperature in Phoenix. It's been awesome. The heat's coming. Bring it.
Weekend was a little rough.
hey, bring the heat. I love it. I want it. But it's been nice up until now. So there's that. Our table's set.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot to talk about here with the schedule release. I didn't even think about that angle of because how many people are going to go through the schedule tonight and go, like I said, I jokingly say 15-2, but everybody's going to be high, right?
Yeah, I won't even look.
Yeah,
and then they publicize it everywhere, but I won't even.
But how many people are going to look at that and go, okay, I have them at 10. Oh, Vegas only says they're going to win 8. I got to take that over tonight.
Well, you're going to. Oh no, believe me, if you listen to the networks, VSIN or Sports Grid, what do they have to do? Well, first of all, they're sponsored by sports books.
Yes.
Sports books thrive by having people make bets with them, and so they're trying to encourage their speakers, their on-air personalities, to encourage betting. That's all it is. And this time of year, there's so little that they do anything they can with NFL. Listen, if you're going to bet an NFL bet right now, and it's anything under than a season total win under, and you have what you think is some information, God bless you. But any other bet than that, to me, is folly for too many reasons. We'd be here our whole hour discussing. Just trust me, don't do it.
Yeah.
Watch, learn, listen.
I just don't want to. Well, there's so many unknowns still, and then injuries, coming up.
Injuries can only help you if you're on an under. And you know how I know that? Because I go through things the hard way.
They
call it the hard way because it's the hard way.
Well, I was thinking about it, while you were talking there, like Patrick Mahomes coming off this knee injury. You don't even know if he's going to be ready for week 1 yet. So if you're looking at anything on the Chiefs side of things, it's just like, what are you doing? But I don't know. I didn't even think about that angle on it. That's why we have you on, Lou. You opened my eyes up on that side of it.
Well, Mahomes is a different thing because you just gather information, and anyone knows he's trying to be Superman and overachieve.
Yep.
What's he going to do as a mature quarterback? He's liable to do it too quick. I hope he doesn't, because usually you got to protect the athlete from themselves.
Yeah.
If anything, if they bring him back and he's back quick, I'd look for a little different offensive presentation where he would be a little bit more captured in the
Not
pocket
running as much.
if there's any way to do that to a kid like that. We'll wait and see. But
Right.
but that all comes in time. We have college baseball.
Yes.
We have puck passion in the heat of battle right now. We've got UFC. This is like the 14th straight week I've had a UFC card.
Last
Next
week
week I
and
get
then
a
off.
week off.
Yeah, and it's a holiday
about
weekend
that?
too. So Lou, you can go to wherever
What's-
you want to do
what's
next weekend.
week?
Memorial
Memorial
Day.
Day?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I know it's early this year. It's usually end of May, but that's next weekend.
Yeah, that's
next week as
soon.
well. From that. So, well, look, before we get into the baseball and that stuff, tell everybody where they can find you. Anything Apex fight this week, of course, just came off of the numbered event in New Jersey. We're going to talk a lot about today, especially that main event there as well. But tell everybody where they can find you, what you do, all of the fun stuff.
Yeah, I forgot. No.
Uncle Lou here, folks. I can do the spiel for you if you like.
Uncle Lou's a long-time opinion maker in the sports game before it was vogue, when it was looked down upon. I seemed to be able to do pretty well at it, and I always gravitated towards it. I had older people that I hung around with that's what they did, so it was easy for me to try and do it too. And so now you fast forward a bunch of years, and I am a real estate professional here in Phoenix, but I still follow my passion, which is trying to derive profit from betting on sporting events. I only select a few sporting events. I have a web page called Gamblu.com. And at Gamblu.com, you go to the top band, you can find everything about me that you want. And what I always pass up is my podcast. So,
yes.
Kobe will scroll down. I do 2 podcasts a week. One on Sunday night is called the Sneak Teep Podcast, and it's a look at the opening lines for that week's UFC card and any changes or thoughts I have early in the week. Then on Friday, I do the Bout Business Podcast. That's the final releases for that week's UFC card. If you are interested in a 7 to 9 minute podcast that has nothing to do with anything except trying to derive profit from betting on UFC fights, then this isn't your podcast. But like about 275 to 300 and a quarter. Last week it was 3 and a quarter because it was a numbered event. Mm-hmm. But some 325 people for big events tune into Bout Business and listen. And those people are, believe it or not, from like 7 countries, which is very flattering. And the other thing is they're gambling on the UFC. That's all you would listen or do with my podcast. So there's too much time on the podcast.
To be fair, I did a little bit of gambling last week on just having some fun on the UFC fight, but I went to a get together. I listened to your About Business podcast, and it allowed me to spew some stuff to the kids that thought they knew everything, and I looked like a genius on a couple of them because of it. So I just want to point that out too. Lou will make you
we don't
look
win
like a
them
genius.
all, but I'm pretty sure I had a great week last week, actually.
Well, before we get into the UFC, and don't forget.
I had a big week last
I was
week.
gonna say you should have if you put money down on what you said you wanted to.
Oh no, I know.
There were some big numbers last week.
I'll explain how we had it. If you listen to About Business, you know that I had 1.4 units on Shemaev to win 1.4 units. It was the perfect setup by which to take Strickland. And I told people, listen, I'm going to, and I know I do
Play
realize.
both sides of it. Yeah.
I said, we're going to come back on Strickland, just look for my message. I never did send the message, but most of my listeners don't need me to trigger them. They knew what we were doing. And so that was a real fun one right there.
Oh, yeah. But then earlier in the fight, too, I went a plus 450 early in the day. As well early in the fight.
If you got
card,
that number, you got the absolute best, and that's half of the battle. And I don't want to. There's a lot to talk about with that fight that we'll say.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. But hey, really quick, don't forget you support a cause that I will not let you get out of here without supporting it, Kobe. If you could put it back up for us, San Xavier Del Bac Mission as well. Just talk about that and how you support them and everything, because this is the important side of what we do, Lou.
Yeah, I try and draw a little attention to the oldest mission in the United States, located just a couple hours south of Phoenix, here south of Tucson, called the San Xavier Del Bac Mission. They're doing unbelievable work there, and they have since the late 1600s, when this mission was built and erected. And so they're doing great work. We've been an active contributor to them. I've included a link that Kobe's flashing right now that you can see there. There's information about the mission on my page. You can go directly to them if you would like to, but we really support them. They're doing great work, and Steve lets me mention it every week.
Absolutely. And like I said, you're not getting out of here without doing that. You can forget everything else. We're doing
Perfect.
that regardless.
That's the most important thing.
But, then going into college baseball here, right? We have the conference championship starting here this week as well. A lot of them starting out there. So SEC, ACC, which they're dominating the top 25s right now. Big 12's getting underway here in surprise coming up here. Mountain West is playing over at Sloan Park in Mesa for their conference championship. So if you want to see some conference championships, look up those schedules. But, so a lot will change. So I know you've talked about it before, but conference championships are an interesting thing in college baseball because if you're going to be a 1 seed or a 2 seed already, sometimes you're not interested in winning your conference championship and blowing your arms out, etc. like that. So how do you play these conference championships before the super regionals, the regionals and super regionals and that stuff?
Yeah, I don't. I'm studying. There's guys that play as soon as college baseball, they're betting it. If you follow their record, you understand why you don't hear much from them. Okay, it's hard. The college game has intricacies, and really, I'm not going to start betting them until we get to money time. And money time to me is the regionals, which there's a field of 64, just like the basketball tournament. Now, these are all the tournaments conference coming in before. And so you mentioned 2 conferences were here.
SEC. Big 12 is up in surprise. Mountain West plays, I believe it's Sloan Park, but they're over in Mesa.
So Big 12 doesn't have anybody that's a shoe-in for 1 through 8, nor does Mountain West, of course.
Okay.
So we're not going to see hanky-panky there. Every team playing there is playing to try and win that conference because they want to get seeded in 64. So you have integrity here. But when you go to SEC, when you go to ACC, you have layers of, a team like Texas is on top, or you go, the best example, what conference is UCLA in?
Big 12. Big 10, excuse me.
The Big 10.
Yeah.
That's here. That's what's here?
No, that's not
okay,
here,
so the Big 10. So UCLA is going to be a 1 through 8 seed.
Yeah, they're in.
And so when they go deep in the tournament, if they go deep in the tournament, are they going to try and win the tournament and use all their aces' arms 1 week when the next week the regionals start and they're going to be at home? Oh, no. So there's a lot to understand. I don't think you have to be in a hurry to bet it. I like to bet it when the regionals start because then I have a bracket. I can see who's set up against who, check my odds. If you go back numerous weeks in Gamblu, you'll see there's a futures article, and I have probably 5 or 6 college futures from there. You'd have to look at them now to see if they make sense now, because teams like UCLA and North Carolina, who are 1 and 2, their odds are way shorter now than they were when we took them at the beginning of the year.
I think UCLA was one of your future ones, if I remember
so
correct.
was North Carolina.
Were they? Okay.
Yeah, no,
because UCLA, nobody expected UCLA to turn into
thing.
what they thought they would be. Man, it was.
Well, we had them, and I think we have them at.
Yeah. But you didn't have them as dominant. I don't even think maybe you did.
No.
Did anybody have them as dominant as they are? But you did have them.
I have them to win it all.
Yes,
so I had them as the 5 or 6 teams I wanted to bet on. Dominant, I don't know.
Interesting enough, you said UCLA is going to be probably the number 1 seed going into this thing. Like you said, North Carolina as well. Just to throw
Texas.
it out there. Now go ahead.
Then what? Texas maybe?
Texas, and then it's a bunch of AC like Florida State, depending. I think a couple of these schools do have to show something in the conference tournament to get those higher seeding as well. But just for everybody locally knows, Arizona State right now, I think they're going to make the tournament. They probably have to win a game or 2 in the Big 12 tournament, but I think they're going to make for a decent seed. But right now they have them projected in the Corvallis, Oregon bracket here on the regionals. Oregon State, Ole Miss, Arizona State's the 3 seed, and then Niagara after that. So that's where they're projected to go in right now.
I hope they don't go that.
That's going to be tough, right?
I mean, Mississippi is tough, and Oregon State. That's
At Oregon State, no
That's
less.
brutal.
Right? Yeah, Niagara. Then it's like, oh, we'll throw Niagara in there if they win.
Oregon
their
State's
conference.
one of my teams.
Yeah, they're always up there.
Oregon's
as a
a
staple,
team.
So.
I think did I take both? Maybe just Oregon.
I can't remember. I was trying to remember
I know
yesterday.
the
To be honest with you, your
one of
take
the
on
bums
Oregon.
is LSU.
Yeah, you did, but you did like Oregon State. Oregon, I was trying to
Definitely had Oregon.
trying to
State.
remember. So that's where Arizona State's slated as of now. And it's like, woo, do
The
yourself
good
a
news
favor.
is that's Aesop's fables. These guys don't know jack squat.
Yes. Yeah, so that's where we stand there. But those are starting out. I just wanted to get your take on it because when we come back next week, a lot of these conference championships will be in the heat of it, or a couple of them wrapped up as well.
Oh no, does it take a whole week? I think it's just a long weekend. By
yeah,
Monday,
that's what I
Tuesday,
mean.
we'll
But I think
know.
some start. I think a few start this weekend, and then a couple start, and then a bunch next weekend as well. So
Yeah. So because the regionals start here pretty damn soon.
yeah, okay. So 19th through the 24th is the SEC one. That's in Hoover, Alabama.
Yeah. Then the next
ACC's
week.
is the 19th through the 24th in North Carolina as well. No, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm a week off. They're all next weekend. It looks like all the big ones are next weekend.
So when the regionals start when?
The following week. Selection show is Monday the 25th. Regionals are the 29th through the 31st.
So yeah, normally when we would think it would be late Memorial Day is when they
Memorial Day is early this year.
right at June 1st.
That's
okay,
what's
good.
screwing me all up, man. Memorial Day.
Whatever,
so early.
whatever.
Jeez.
When they schedule them, that's when I got to work. So
that's the thing. We have to
that's
show
why
up
I
when
want
they
to know
want
what
it.
the schedule is, so I understand what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah. So if a team like UCLA loses in the regionals, like let's say early, North Carolina, Florida State, they lose early. Nothing to freak out about.
I don't think they want to lose early, but you got to understand they'll probably be two games in a bye. So they'll make other teams play each other to get to them.
Yeah.
They win one game and lose in the semis or in the finals. It's a very select few, but you got to be paying attention to this because they may or may not use their ace depending on what their motivations are.
Resting them up for
a lot of speculation about that.
Absolutely. So then
here's another thing.
Oh, go ahead.
These college teams, they talk about home runs and power and everything because that's what gets them to Omaha. Gorilla ball. But once they get to Omaha, that all changes. And not a lot of people know that about college baseball, but we do here. You keep listening and you'll understand what happens when it goes from regional and super regional home field, small little teeny crackerbacks box ballpark like North Carolina. Then they go to cavernous Omaha, Nebraska, where the wind's blowing in at the teeth of the batter. It's a whole different game.
That's the wind catches you off guard.
Whole
there, even with
different
the new
game. Just
stadium.
like NHL playoffs are different than the regular season. Once you get to the College World Series, if you're not prepared to play small ball, bunt the ball, you're at a disadvantage.
So stay tuned here over the next couple of weeks. Follow Lou also at Gamblu as well as he puts stuff out there on X as well. But Lou, in the NHL side of things, we have 2 series remaining. One could be closed out tonight if Vegas is able to beat the Ducks tonight there in Anaheim. Then Buffalo, Montreal tonight as well. They're fighting for Game 5 tonight. Before we get into those two, Colorado closed it out against Minnesota last night. I'm curious on what your thought was going into that Minnesota game because everybody's been betting home teams heavily in the NHL. We've talked about that the last couple of weeks. And then Minnesota had that big lead. Colorado had to come back and win the game in overtime and stuff like that. What was the thought process going into that game last night? Out of curiosity,
Mine,
yeah,
that it was a potential series clinching game, and I thought that because I've been doing this for 40 years, and my model was screaming Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota opened last night, 171. They closed. Minnesota opened plus 171. They closed like plus 195. Look, the bookmakers knew they were going to need Minnesota. They opened it with that in mind, knowing that they were going to get Colorado money. It still moved 20 cents. So my model was screaming wild, and I wanted to play him, except in my experience, my model hasn't been successful in series clinching games. And so this was a series clinching game. I'm usually on the road team. Minnesota's the road team playing for a lot. And you know what I decided to do? We've done it two nights previous to this. I passed, and we end up being beneficiaries of it. So I said just what I told you. I told my guys, hey, model says wild, but my experience says no, we're going to pass. Sometimes the best bet's the one not made. So I'm sitting there watching that game, and for 55 minutes, I'm feeling like the biggest, stupidest, teeny tiny little testicle dude in the whole wide world. Why didn't you just go ahead and play it? All the metrics were right, and then everything happened to change it, and now. I mean, I have even more momentum because now 3 of the nights I've passed, it's worked to our favor. And so we hold great momentum. We've lost a couple futures. We had the Wild, if you go back to that article. So we lose a unit last night on the Wild. We lost a unit on Tampa last series, but we have Montreal at 14-1, which is alive. And then we have some others. We had Montreal and Buffalo to go 6 games at plus 220. We had Montreal and Buffalo to go 7 games at plus 220. Well, it's 2-2. We've won one of those bets, which means we cleared a unit plus 1.2 units either way. We also had Buffalo to win the series 4-2 or 4-3, and those were 5-1s, and we have Montreal to win 4-2 and 4-3 at 5-1. So 3 of those are going to lose for a 3-unit loss, but one's going to win at 5. We'll pick up 2 there. So we pick up 2 there and 1.2 below. That's already won. It's in our pocket, but the series isn't over, so I haven't counted it in our total yet. But we're 28 and 24. We're up 5.5 units, about a 19% ROI, and we're about to add 3 or 4 more units with that. So we're having tons of fun. It's a hugely different year this year than last, and I don't know what was different except how much mental power I put into hockey this year because of what happened last year. But I mean, I seem to be seeing the ball right now pretty good, but that makes me seeing the ball good up until today. It's what have you done for me lately?
Exactly.
We got a game tonight.
Can go away tonight with both of the games tonight.
We've got 2 games tonight. Yeah,
it starts off with Montreal Buffalo. I can't get my hand around this series. Either one of these guys can win this series. It's back and forth in my eyes. These are very even teams, meaning Buffalo and Montreal. I'm just enjoying this series, things like that. So how are you looking at this going into tonight's game here with Buffalo and Montreal, where I just throw my hands up and go, this is just fun.
When Buffalo won the first game, we took them to win the series in a parlay with the Ducks plus 1.5. Both of those are on edge and in play tonight. If Anaheim wins tonight, we automatically win that side. And the Buffalo to win was really a hedge because I know I got a unit coming in on Montreal if they were to lose. So what I'm saying by using that parlay is I hope to lose the Buffalo parlay because I want the Montreal 14-1 to live into Carolina. I think Montreal sets up really, really good with Carolina. And I think the difference between Montreal and Buffalo is just simply 1 year. Buffalo's first year is this year, and Montreal's first year was last year. They got beat up, bloody-nosed, figured out what the playoffs were. Now they're here, and they're dangerous.
And at tonight's game, Montreal's plus 102 on the money line. Sabres are minus 122 at home going into tonight's game as well, and they're tied 2-2. So obviously the winner of this game tonight's, turns into the favorite, I guess you can say. With
the odds, Game 5 in a 7-game series, winner of Game 5 got to be 75%.
Yeah, Dale said it the other day, and I can't remember.
They'll tell us in the NHL network.
Yeah, it's 75-80%. It's ridiculous
big.
how big it is in hockey.
It's big, and you want it.
And you got the Knights up 3-2 over the Ducks. This is what's interesting to me. The lines tonight, the Knights on the road in Anaheim. The Knights are minus 112 favorites. Well, the Anaheim Ducks are minus 108. I mean, this is the best series I think. I've had so much fun with this series. Ducks are in play tonight on this, but with that numbered line there, how are you looking at this game tonight?
I'm looking at it as a great game.
Sit back and watch.
Yeah, I mean, you got again. Anaheim's like Buffalo. They're both like
so much
Montreal
fun.
last year.
Yeah.
But Anaheim's shown such great grit. You love Quenneville, the coach. The guy's an old salty cat. And then you got Torts, who is Belichick and Parcells behind the Vegas bench. It doesn't get any better. These numbers won't be the same when you look at this thing today at 3:00. When you look at this thing today at 3:00, Buffalo going to be minus 130, and you'll be getting plus money on Montreal. And then when you look at the game tonight, it should be interesting. I expect some Anaheim money.
I that's what I was going to ask you, because I expect Anaheim money tonight, being the home team. People are betting on the home teams there as well, and just the way they play at home on top of it. I think it's going to be interesting to see. But I'm looking forward tonight. It's no Diamondbacks, no NBA basketball for those of you that like that. Sit back and watch some
home
hockey
teams,
tonight.
by the way, 31-31 in the playoffs. So it's not like you're at home and it's an automatic.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun coming up on that. Really quick here, since we got that wrapped up before we go into the UFC, hit some comments here as well. First
we
of all,
don't take comments.
well, this one you're going to want to, because I have the same question, actually, from Robert. But before we do that, Papa
Robert,
Mike.
he's got carte blanche.
Oh, yeah. Papa Mike says, I overinflated wins for the Cardinals when I was a season ticket holder, meaning the schedule release. He goes, these days I don't find more than 5 wins ever for them. He's not wrong. We'll see tonight.
He's a realist.
But Robert's big question is about college baseball, because this new thing has happened in college baseball where, like, ASU canceled the GCU series, right? Or the GCU game the other night. Doesn't help their RPI at all. It will hurt if they lost it. So do teams backing out of their games with lower-ranked teams that won't help their RPI in college baseball, does that impact your handicapping at all going forward on these teams that they back out of those games?
No, because they can't back out of tournament games in their conference. So I don't really that they can jockey players, pitchers, or games all they want, but there comes a time where one team got to beat the other, and that's come regional time, and so that's what I'll wait for.
Yeah, and that's what it's stuck into baseball now, where you're just like, oh, that's not going to help our RPI if we beat them.
Well, but
if we lose it, then it'll hurt us, so we'll just cancel that game. It's like, what?
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that also in basketball and
football?
I mean. It's all across college.
It's creeped into baseball.
College,
that's what I'm saying.
College is really. I don't bet anything college except baseball because of the purity of it, and now it looks like the dog's raising his leg on part of baseball's bush.
Also, Papa Mike gives you a compliment. He goes, oh, boy, I'd have such a headache if I put all this thought into it. He goes, Lou, thanks for doing it for us.
Oh, that's what I do. Thank you. It's my passion. I've done it my whole life. I was taught how to do it. And,
you've
and
changed
sometimes I'm really good.
Yeah, you've changed my perspective on how I look at things as well. I go, what would Lou think tonight on this type of a thing? And then sometimes, like the Montreal Buffalo series, I just throw my hands up and go, I don't even know. I'm just going to enjoy watching this thing.
I mean, I wish I had a crystal ball and I could tell you exactly who would win, because if I could do that, I'd be about 95%.
Lou, I probably wouldn't be here tomorrow
that,
because of the money I'm collecting tonight after I win.
It's tough. It's tough. It's one of the toughest things to do. I quit playing golf at a 10 handicap to do this because I believe this is tougher to beat than become a good golfer, and that's debatable. Becoming a really good golfer is the hardest thing to do, period, I think. This is right there with it.
Yeah, one last thing on the NHL that just popped into my mind I wanted to ask. Carolina's been sitting for a while. Carolina's going to sit for a while longer here as well. Does that make you concerned about them in a game one or just in the whole series in general?
Yeah, I would be really concerned for the first game and a half for that team.
Yeah.
But knowing their history and knowing that that's a team that throttles it all regular season long, plays in the playoffs white knuckle, they drowned you with lack of space, and they run out of legs and gas and size and grit in the playoffs the last couple years. This rest could be just exactly what they needed, and so because the rest does not help them in game 1 or 2. No, it helps them in game 5, 6, 7, and then a next series should they get one. And the same thing for Colorado. You got a rested Colorado and Carolina that look like they're setting up for each other real good. I just think Montreal might have something to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that final if it happens, because it's just two dominant teams out there that that can do a lot of scoring. Carolina can do a lot of scoring. Colorado can, but they can also beat you 1-0. And everything. And I got a new respect for Brendan Moore there in Carolina, man. I've never been a fan of his as a player or as a coach, but I got a lot of respect for this guy. He is one of the best coaches in the league, and it's just an amazing thing to watch from that Carolina bench.
He was a great player. He won a cup for Carolina. Yeah. He's a perfect coach for anybody,
he's
really.
responsible for something like 97% of Carolina's playoff wins.
Yeah, no, he's
as a player and a coach.
He's a sicko. He's a sicko.
He's their good luck charm, I guess we can say.
Well, he hasn't been the last 2 years in the playoffs. Let's see what happens this year.
That's issue number 2, right? But, hey, 2 games tonight, hockey. Tune in. It's going to be fun. But, Lou, let's take our break, come back. We got to look back at that numbered event last week because I thought unbelievable fight here card last week. We go into an Apex fight this week before the week off. Let's get into that as well. Come on back. Thursdays with Uncle Lou. And we're back here. Main event with Uncle Lou. VSIN contributor, of course, Gablu.com. Check him out there. Sneak Tea podcast out already earlier this week on Sunday. They got Bout Business after the weigh-ins this week. Fights in Vegas. So normal Friday mid-morning About Business podcast this week as well. But last week, Lou, big numbered fight there in New Jersey of all places. Let me ask you this first before we get into some of those big fights last week. My big question for you is, did you feel at all that judging came into any of these fights or overall? Were you happy with the judging? A lot of question marks sometimes around a New Jersey judging panel.
There can be, but I don't think I had any.
You didn't have any? Okay. That's what I wanted. Just as a general, I was just curious how you thought the judging went. Because when we get to the main event, I made a astute observation on to somebody, and we'll bring it up later on. Not that the judges would be improper; they could lean a certain way, and the way that fight went in that final round.
I think that until he tried to kick when the night before they had the face-offs, he tried to kick Strickland below the belt.
Yeah, the weigh-ins or whatever.
At that point in time, the whole tide on that fight changed, and it changed drastically.
Yeah.
You mean
Strickland was kicked? Yeah.
Every person watching, Chimaev tried to kick Strickland as they were facing, and Strickland was serious, just coming at him. He was going to be calm. He was ready for a fight. And the other kid was telling, man, he was freaking look wild-eyed and tries to kick him in the jewels. Okay, yeah, no problem. But to me, that was a huge tell for him.
Yeah.
And it was also at that point in time when the market went from 450 all the way down to 380. That escalation of money on Strickland began the moment Chimaev did that kick.
Okay.
And it went towards Strickland's side. Now, it would take something gargantuan to make the U.S. public fancy Strickland over anybody.
He's a tough guy to like.
I love him. I'll tell you what. It's a shtick. He talks too straight sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes the stuff he says should be kept not said and everything, but he's a live wire, and I don't think he is behind the scenes what he is on the cameras. I know this. The dude's a wicked good fighter, and that was so much of a thrill to watch that whole thing transpire. And you could see early in the fight, even before it began, the mutual respect that was there.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
And,
I was amazed.
Everybody's like, oh, Jesus, Chimaev gave away the fight. These guys haven't ever been in a cage, okay? Guys that have been in the cage say that, and I think there's something to it. He could have waited until after the fight to hug him, but even then, it's like they lost their aura. So, hey, Strickland won. I don't think it was. I think it was close, but clearly Strickland won. I couldn't have been happier for the kid. Yeah. I'm very happy for us because we were in a no-lose situation where we could only win with Strickland. We could win a small amount should Chimaev have won. Yeah. So,
I mean, it was amazing. We'll just start with the main event, obviously, and but I mean, just when they came out, there's just this vibe in the arena and in the room I was in. and these kids that I was watching the fight with, part of the group,
They were all on Chimaev.
They were all Strickland, and they were just
good.
like, oh my God, $40 on Strickland. It won like $100 and something if they won it.
Good.
They kept going during the fight. Maybe we should cash out. And then that 5th round came, and then just getting into the ring, and they had to have security around them.
That was all shtick.
I
too.
know, but it was just added to the moment on top of it, where they kept trying to move, and guys would be like, "No, go back there." It was just this amazing atmosphere on that final fight. Right after the Van fight, which I thought was really good, also.
Oh, great fight!
Build up on top of the Van fight going into it. Then they get in there, and then that 5th round came. And I thought it was probably even. I could see it probably going against Strickland there, going into the 5th if it came down to the judges. But I said all along it's going to go to a decision. As I put the bet on that side. And then as that fight went on, that final takedown, you started to feel that maybe Strickland was losing that fight. And then just the way he got out of it and stuff, these kids were like, cash out, because they were still going to cash out at a huge number. And I looked at him and I said, keep it in there. You have a good shot at winning this because of the judges. Meaning an unlikable American, the way he talks and stuff, against a guy that's viewed very negatively in America, if you catch my drift, with what he does.
And overly so in the last 10 hours.
Yes.
Because of that kick.
So I told these kids, I go, you have a really good chance of this falling in your favor, even if Strickland does, even if that last takedown goes the other way, you still have a good chance of winning. And that's why I asked you about the judges. I'm not saying they were improper. I do feel at the end of the fight, Strickland was probably the right win. But I felt even then going into that fight, I made that comment. I was thinking it like, Strickland's winning this thing because no American judge is going to go with that guy when it's that close of a fight on top of it. And that's why I asked you the question on the judging.
I don't know that I agree with your reasoning.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know if it's right. I even told him, I go, you might lose this, but I'm just telling you, you want to keep this.
If they would have given it to Chimaev, that's how I would have regarded it.
I wouldn't have been upset about that either, though. That's what I'm saying.
I would have thought it was just UFC playing to their own advantage that they want him as champ, but I think he even PO'd the UFC with that stunt. I mean, that stunt was really a lot, and it was a tell, and now we're coming to find out that he had, that he was getting ready for a 205-pound fight, all this bull roar. Meanwhile, Strickland legit had a dislocated shoulder, still won the fight. So, scoreboard, baby. Great fight.
Exactly. Split decision, great win.
Result. That fight worked great for us. We had the over 2.5. That was sailed to victory, so it was a fun night.
I had over 2.5, and then I even went over 3.5.
Good for you. You got
that
plus
was
money
a plus
there.
number there.
There you go.
So I did that before the fight. I was just confident it was going to a decision. I don't know why I was.
When they offer you the buyout, okay?
Yeah.
They're not trying to be your friend, okay?
Yeah.
There's an advantage for them to give you the buyout because they know the odds are favorable to you, and so why do they want to pay you $500 when they can pay you $275?
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't take it's not never, but for the most part, don't take a buyout. You got advantage. You worked hard for it.
Well, that's the thing. These kids, they don't have, they're young kids, work hard, getting their life started.
Right, and he bet 5, and now he can get out with 115.
He bet 40,
that's hard to,
and he didn't do any other bets because he's like, this is our bet tonight, is this Strickland 40.
Well, at least
so
they
90
know that.
looked good to him right in the buyout. But
sure.
but you can get a couple hundred because he was a plus.
And
and
they waited, and then they were thankful.
Yeah, I was funny too because
and
they were like,
gosh,
out before
Steve,
the
you're
thing.
smart.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know, guys. Like, he might lose this, but you have a really good chance of winning this thing. So it was kind of funny to watch.
Good for you.
But
you
but
gave
then,
him good advice.
Before that, Joshua Van against the guy that the Japanese guy that is very favorable by the UFC. Like you said last week, they said it on the broadcast in the pre-fight that UFC wants a Japanese champion. Man, Joshua Van impressed me with all of that against him. He went out there and just in my eyes, just took the bulls by the horn and won that fight. And that was a fun one, too.
A great fight. I mean, Tyra showed nothing but heart, took him down a couple times, couldn't keep him down.
Kept taking a beating and just kept doing it. Kept taking that licking. Kept on ticking.
Van, like Hokett, showed me a lot. Both guys I underestimated. I won't again.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You weren't. I'm not going to say you were. I'll use the term.
I was all Tyra.
Exactly.
He ended up going off minus 150, and we bet him we lose 1.5 units. So that was I think our setback.
Yeah,
Is
and
there
it's just
another one? Oh, yes,
Yep.
Buckley,
Oh,
too.
yeah. Well, Buckley, I want to talk about, but Waldo Cortez Acosta there against Volkov.
Uh-huh.
Volkov ends up winning that fight. I was high on Waldo going into this fight. His conditioning wasn't as bad as I thought as the later fights went on. But your thoughts on Volk? Just a tall, big dude, reaches
Yeah.
outrageous against a shorter, stumpier Waldo on that Volkov Acosta.
Yeah, I had a little bet on Volkov personally there. I like Volkov, and he's earned his shot at the title, and I hope he gets it here soon.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. You see him as
He's beaten
championship
Gane.
material?
He
Yeah.
beat Gane. He's got a decision over Gane. Gane's fighting now with Pereira. So next in line looks to be the Russian Volkov.
And then the Buckley fight I wanted to ask you about because of the movement number that happened.
Mm-hmm.
We got him in a plus number.
Yeah.
I did it Thursday when you're in here last week. I like Buckley a lot, as well. And then that flip there, I woke up and saw later, sometime in the day, I saw you on VSIN, ironically enough, talking about the line move. And I went, what do you mean the line moved? I mean, it went from plus, 100 and something to a negative 200 or something for Buckley. Quick movement there. What was the process behind that? Because they let the fight go off.
Well, yeah, because they looked into it and realized that, hey, there's nothing going on here. This is a perfect example of just wild, erratic, better behavior. So some guy saw the line go from Brady from 130 to 120, then 110. Now it's even. Everybody's got to get in. Somebody knows something. I don't want to be left out. Now, I didn't do this in the webpage. I don't think. Again, it's last week. But personally, I had Buckley at plus 160. And so when Brady got to plus 180, no brainer.
I
You
think
hit
you
the
did.
freaking button.
I don't remember if you posted it, but you said it on the VSIN. You said it on the VSIN page, I believe. But you did say it someplace.
I definitely said it. You have this option. And I'm in the take money to the bank, not EV, even though I had advantage with Buckley. When that happens, I just take the money and run. Now, will I do it if it's plus 110 and plus 110? Maybe not.
Yeah.
But when I can go, I won 60 here or I win 80 there, I'll take it. I just won money. Next fight, please.
Yeah.
That said, I was high on Buckley. I thought he would be a very good dog and give Brady everything he could have. He gave him nothing. Buckley has no wrestling. You don't pick up wrestling early. I'm glad that fight situation happened so I could get out of it with plus money because that was as poor a pick on Buckley as it was on JDM. And thank God Strickland came to the rescue because that's what I remember going into this card.
Well, that's the thing. Finish strong, right?
Absolutely.
Finish strong. King Green, Jeremy Stevens. I like King Green going into this. A submission there in the first round for him. Remind me your position on King Green. I like him a lot.
I did too, but not at minus 300. But I'll tell you this. He wants to fight for the BMF title, and he deserves it. He's as authentic as the Diaz brothers. The dude has shown it. He's finished his last couple guys. Guy's a badass. I like him a lot too. He's real as it gets. He's respectful as there is. Bobby King Green, an OG, just like the Diaz's.
Yeah, it is a fun little fight there. That was the first fight, but getting to the prelims here really quick, Gautier against Ozzy Diaz there. If I remember correctly on Gautier, he's just a physical.
I said he was going to assassinate.
Yeah, he's got abs on tops of abs on tops of abs. I mean, the guy is just a physical specimen. But to me, he's a one type of fighter. He did not destroy him at all. It took him a little bit to get into it in the second round. I expected at least something quicker there. But I also see Gautier as he gets into tougher competition, struggling a little bit in the UFC. Am I reading too much in this with the way he doesn't dominate with the way he looks out there?
They asked Sir Sirkayev, who was earlier on the card that fought that
We're going to talk about him
Santos.
next. Yeah.
They asked Sir Sirkayev what happens if those two get in the cage. Sir Sirkayev says that's easy money.
Exactly.
And he's right because he just takes them down and dominates them. Gautier is a stand-up machine, but he doesn't have a well-rounded mixed martial arts weapon.
And it even showed here in this fight where I was like, if he connects with you, you're going down. But I felt like that was the only thing he has out there.
We're waiting until they give him a fight that's worthy. Right now they're giving him, scarecrows and freaking broomsticks.
Which brings it up, Sasakurov there. I got him at really good number for him going to that fight against Santos here. third round submission for. And I actually, the reason why I had such a big number, Lou, is because I took him to submit. You actually had said that on air last week. The whole fight, I'm going, Lou, he's not even taking him to the ground. What kind of dumb thing are we doing here? Submission, not even doing anything. Boom, 4 minutes, 12 seconds, takes him down, submits him. And I look like a genius because of you.
Uncle Lou, what, did you tell the kids you had?
I did. I said, he's going to submit him.
Go.
But the whole fight, Lou, not even one takedown. And I'm sitting there going, the guy doesn't even wrestle, apparently. What the heck?
He was like, gosh.
So I want to give you props for that. Yeah, it was plus 450 there for the submission.
Way to go.
For him
I actually took Surskayev, believe it or not, into Ochoa.
Really?
Yes.
The Jose Ochoa?
Yes. And so here's a little hint for everyone. When there's an MMA lab fighter on the card and I don't bet him, that should tell you something.
Yes. You've said that before out there as well, but it's just those were fun. Just the early prelims to the prelims to the finals here. This was an unbelievable UFC card. I thought.
Agree. It was a great card. It was and well worth the money, which was very little compared to what we used to have. To pay.
$6.99 or whatever I pay a month, $8.99 for that or whatever I pay on that. It was so much fun last week. As well,
especially being around young kids and showing them all your wisdom. I love it.
I know, and I take credit for that. No, it's funny because one of the guys there goes, Steve has an inside pack on that, and I'm like, no, I come up with that on my own. I don't. But it just the But
I believe a professional should reference, but that's okay.
No. They know. I give you.
I
credit
always
on
like
that.
my golf guys and my basketball guys. I always say their name. Because I don't know nothing about their sport.
No, I'm the first one to be
golf.
check out the show on Thursdays.
Are you on any golf this week?
Yeah, well, I was going to bring that up here in a second
good,
before we get to the Apex here because the PGA's out. But no, I wanted to make sure we spent some time on last week's card because it was an unbelievable fight. Your advice last week and even on your bout business. And then forget about that side of it. The fights were just amazing.
The fights were good.
And all of that stuff out there. So, but before we get into this week's Apex fight, which I look at this card and I go, okay. Sure. If you want to throw this at us, I'll watch, but and see what happens. So we'll talk about that. But PGA Tour's PGA Championship has teed off this morning. You talked to your golf buddies out there and everything. And what are you looking at for top 10, top 20 finishes this week?
They had me use Shoffley minus 120, top 20. This is my buddy Brady Cannon at Vegas.
You got to get his outlet right.
I'll have it here.
Anybody that does golfing and stuff like that knows Mr. Cannon out there.
Yeah,
no doubt about
Brady
it.
Cannon at LV Golfer, I want to say. Anyway, I got to reference my boy Cannon. He gave me that. I took, and I'm sure I'm going to, because it's mine on my own, I took Tommy Fleetwood top 20 at plus 105. We'll see, okay? I don't know the course and if he fits it. All these guys know all that. But here's what I saw. I saw every golf guy talking about Cameron Young. And you know what that means? No effing way I'm taking Cameron Young. No. So I wanted to find my own guy, and I gave it to Fleetwood. So we'll see. Fleetwood top 20, Shoffley top 20. That's it for me right now. I'm just going to sit back. If we might wait a round or two and get involved with other stuff.
The weather's going to change. That's the other side of it. It's supposed to be rainy and windy today or early this morning, again away during the day, overnight again, maybe early tomorrow morning. Then the weekend's going to be sunny and whatever. So the weather's going to change here as well. Which that's where you get into it. And you go, well, who can play well in the rain to get through that and the wet conditions to get to the dry conditions? You got to kind of look at.
I got one other bet, and it's on Twitter. My buddy Dave Ross, who I do VSIN shows with every Friday morning, he's on the under, I want to say 267.5 for the total score of the tournament. And I was looking for that number, and all I could find was 266.5. And I thought, well, Moy, if I go under that, I know what's going to happen. Right? It's going to go 267. He's going to win, and I'm going to look like Elmer Fudd when he turns into the sucker on cartoons. So only a few people will know what that is. So I took the over, and now I want it to hail. I took over 266.5. So though I have two, I have two top 20s in that. I wanted to get that.
You said Shoffley was top 20?
minus 120 I paid, but I got a
Okay.
plus 105 on Fleetwood.
Yeah, so he's -2 right now through hole 14.
What's the leader?
For Schauffele?
Three.
They're all right there, -3.
Beautiful.
I'm sorry, Minwoo Lee has just dropped one in for a -4 as a leader there. So I think today and tomorrow you're going to see low scores because of the weather.
No, higher scores.
Higher score. I'm sorry, yeah, higher scores.
And then the weekend they're going to come in.
if
They're
it
going to be
dries
shooting
out.
jarts,
Yeah, it's
making
gonna
me
be-
sweat.
They're going to mow down that grass a little bit
Bastards.
to get it all done and all that.
They're going to make me
stuff.
work for it.
The big guys are just getting out there, like Brooks Koepka's 1 under right now as well. So the big name guys are just starting to get out there or coming out later on as well throughout. Like John Rahm's even. I saw a lot of people going into this. Did your guys say anything about, did Cannon say anything about Jordan Spieth at all? Because he's really hyped going into this tournament as well. So I'm just
He
curious.
sent me his write-up, and I didn't read it.
Oh, you did? Yeah, you didn't. You just told me you wanted.
I saw
Okay, I'm
Schauffele
just
as his
curious.
best bet, and that's all I had to say.
That's a solid bet there as well. But Lou, this weekend, we have UFC before they take a week off here. Then the week after that, they're going to Macau, of all places. Macau, whatever it is, over in China. After that fight as well. But this weekend, we got an Apex fight coming our way here. So a little bit, I'm going to say a little bit of a breather fight card here, meaning just not stacked like last week's was out there. Here, we do have some guys that I recognize, like Cody Brundage in this fight. Andre Petrosky, they're battling it out. I know them as well. Several women fighters I've seen before. We know your opinions on those. Maybe we have a fight in those as well. But Lou, for the early prelims or the prelims here, are there any fights you're looking at for this Apex fight?
Yeesh, not really. I mean,
Yeah.
we've had a couple of changes because Gant lost his opponent. Now he gets someone new. Erslan and Tokos, those are, two cans going to fight it out. One guy lost his
In the
last
light heavyweight
3.
battle there?
Yeah, I mean, Ketlin Vieira and Cavalcanti, arguably one of the better fights on the card. Cavalcanti's bigger, and she's
As a women's fight. Yeah.
6 years younger, and she has some physical advantages, but she's a little bit of a favorite. Vieira's had better opposition. I think Brundage is live against Petrosky,
Okay.
and if I was looking to bet anything on this main card, it would be Brundage as an underdog, and it would be the first fight, Cagliari as a favorite. This girl Bannon from Ireland is really not very good. She's, I'm sure, a nice girl, but she's not a very good UFC fighter.
What do you mean the Irish can fight, Lou? Come on.
Oh yeah,
The
no
open
question, and
stance.
she's game. She's
Well,
willing.
Is it Cagliari?
Cagliari's-
She's a -258 favorite going into this
Yeah,
fight.
you
Yeah.
use her in a parlay piece, and you spin her with one of the fighters I'm going to tell you here in the main card where
Yeah.
I'm focusing.
But you said Cody Brundage as an underdog.
Yeah, I
in
think
this
so,
one?
because this Petrosky, he gets all swole up. He's slow. He's not that good, and he's BJJ. What's Brundage? Wrestler. Decent hands. And Brundage has had some of the most unorthodox, wildest, goofiest results in his fights you'd ever seen. But he's a dad. He works his butt off. He's fighting for his family. He's a good story, and I'm pulling for him. And as an underdog, this might be a decent spot for him.
Okay, perfect. Because I like him a lot, and I don't know the matchup side of it, but I like him a lot. And generally, I don't fall in love with wrestlers too often, from that side and that. So that's the prelim fights there as well. But you mentioned that Vieira and Cavalcanti fight as well, the women's fight there. -162 favorite there for Jacqueline. Jacqueline C, as I'll call her, since I can't say it, in that fight. Over under on this one, Lou, 2.5.
Minus
-580.
400 to the
Minus
over.
580.
I mean, it's a broken record. Every women's fight, we talk about the same stuff.
Just to bring it up there. So let's get to the main cards here as well. Don't forget, prelims start at 2 p.m. here from the Vegas Apex as well. In this fight here, you got a kind of an even fight here. A Kazakhstan fighter against a United States guys. Williams versus Nikolay V.
Veretennikov and Chaos Williams. Chaos Williams, big power, explosive, but doesn't fight very often. Really inactive. His last fight was a loss in June of last year, for crying out loud. Veretennikov, 4 years older at 36, going to be a couple inches taller with with a sure wrestling advantage. I think he's going to need to take Williams down at least later in the fight. He's going to have to weather the first round from Williams, and I think if he can, his dual fight ability, meaning he can strike and wrestle and grapple, I think that's going to be the advantage here. I like Veretennikov in the fight a little bit.
Perfect. And I show him, it's kind of a weird
Plus
thing.
100.
Plus 100 right now for him as well, for you dog bettors out there. Then you got Timmy Kwamba and Bernardo Sopaj.
Sopaj, a Swede, coming in, last fought January a year ago. And so a year and 4 or 5 months for this guy. What's been going on since then? Kwamba's going to be taller. He's going to be longer. He's been in with better, and yet he's an underdog. So interesting. Maybe lean towards Kwamba a little bit here.
On this side as well. Also a plus number fighter, plus 130 right now for Kwamba going to this bantamweight fight. Apex, smaller cage here at the Apex.
Yep.
Bantamweights, what's the weight on that?
135,
okay.
and Sopaj comes in from Sweden to fight Kwamba, who doesn't have to travel. There's a few of those fights here. Erslan has to travel in to fight Tokos, Viana to Ardeline as well, Barres to Garule. And sometimes those are the guys I watch on the scale to see if that travel might have affected.
It affects him into that. Christian Edwards, is he by chance a fill-in fighter here against Bukakis?
Yeah, against Bukakis. And so there's no comment on that.
Yep,
fight.
Perfect. And then Malcolm Wellmaker versus Juan Diaz here, bantamweight bout again. U.S. versus Peru fighters.
Yeah, Wellmaker's got natural power, and he's good, but he's not a very good wrestler. Diaz from Peru, I know he's a banger, but he trains in Tijuana, so it's not like he's got a big travel into this thing. I think he's dangerous here. Wellmaker lost his last fight to a guy that showed up on short notice, like 8 days' notice, fought Wellmaker and won. So while Wellmaker is a future star, he's going to be taller, he's going to be longer. I don't know enough about Juan Diaz to know if I could take him against Wellmaker or not. This is a fight I'll watch and learn about Diaz.
Yeah, minus 278 for Wellmaker, but since you brought that up, over under 2.5 rounds here, under minus 145 in this fight. You don't know enough about Diaz. Does that mean a submission artist or a knockout artist, I guess, between these two guys?
I'll tell you after the fight.
Are my questions,
I know
right?
the Diaz has never been finished.
Yeah.
That's what I can tell you.
And then Duho Choi, Daniel Santos battling it out. Featherweight fight, South Korea, Brazilian. That's quite a different techniques here for these guys battling it out in the featherweights.
Another really inactive guy. Choi hasn't fought since December of 24. He took the whole year off. And he's now 34. Santos, 31, is going to be 3 inches the shorter man. He is going to be the man without the reach, but he's more explosive. He's physical. He's as strong or stronger, and he has a great inside game. Choi wants to keep it up and standing, and I don't trust Choi. I like Daniel Santos a good deal here. But he's got to be what, minus 170?
Well, 162. I was going to ask you, what did this open at? I think the money's going toward Choi, at least a little bit. Pick him. Okay, so minus 162 now. Okay, for Santos here in this
And I
fight.
agree with that flow. I think Daniel Santos should be the favored fighter.
Over under 2.5 again, minus 135 to the under again in this fight here as well. So I'm intrigued by that. Those two unders, not necessarily to play them, but more side of what kind of fights we could see with two guys that don't fight very often.
Yeah, if you wanted to take, I mean, that price on Santos isn't terrible, and so you want to take him via the finish, okay, but it isn't terrible at minus 162. You'd use him in a parlay perhaps.
Yeah, okay. Then we got the main event here, featherweight bout, Arnold Allen. And then against Costa here as well for the main event.
This fight also opened pick'em now. It went up to Arnold minus 195. Now Arnold is
minus 148.
Is minus 148, 154.
And
He's 132 at Circa. Wow. He's 125 at the Superbook. Oh. Shop around, okay? No so it went pick.
It's a big difference, Lou.
Early money jumped Allen, as it should have. I was hoping it wouldn't because Costa's been on fire lately, and I thought money would go to him. thus giving us a price on Allen that would be plus. No, nothing. It wasn't to be. So Allen went up to as high as 95, and then midweek now, public's starting to get in because they know this Costa and they've seen him fight. He just finished Dan Ige in his last fight. Ige'd never been finished, so he's riding tons of momentum. Arnold Allen's lost 3 of his last 4, but against freaking Evloev, Max Holloway, and one other killer top 3 fighter in the division. No. Arnold Allen's the class in this fight. Arnold Allen is released on my webpage. We're all over Arnold Allen. And the article came out in early on Monday, Tuesday. I said, hey, he's 165, but it's going down. Wait and get the lowest price. I see 125 and 130.
Yeah.
Go find it.
Yeah, minus 148 on DraftKings to let you guys know where we see that number at as well. Over-under in this fight is 4.5 to the over, minus 145 going to this as well. So they're at least telling you a decision here between these two guys as well.
I'm not so sure. Allen's badass. Allen's bad dude.
As a featherweight, knockout potential?
No, I would think it would.
Okay.
I would think it would be take him into the championship rounds where Costa has yet to fight, tire him out, and maybe sub him.
I say the length of it, I'll tell you. Yeah, more of a submit. That's why I asked that.
He's a wrestler. So.
As a featherweight, I was like, really? In a featherweight, a knockout type power? Kind of surprised me a little bit there as well. So, Lou?
No, but at featherweight, Daniel Santos in the fight before got knockout power. Don't miss it.
Yes, that is true. That is very true for that in that featherweight bout. So, 5 p.m. is the main card here from Las Vegas, Meta Apex. Then a week off next week. But, Lou, get you next week. We'll probably have a pretty good clue, or at least battling it out here to see who's going to go to the NHL final next week. Some clarification as we get started on the college baseball league championships, conference championships as well. Going into that weekend.
Yeah, but next week's a week off for the UFC, not for me and Steve. Yeah. I'm coming, and we're talking about baseball and hockey.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. So come join us. Uncle Lou joins us on Thursdays. Catch him on Friday morning, VSIN.
VSIN, yes.
There as well, gamblu.com.
the books.
Follow him at Gamblu, folks. I can't stress that enough for those of you that you're sitting in a party and you can just throw some knowledge out there as you see it.
Or it might get you thrown out the back door. You never know.
So we'll see you next week, Lou. For everybody else, I'll be back tomorrow. Schedule releases NFL. Dale might join us. He's having another grandkid tomorrow, Lou. So he's got to do some with the other grandkids, drop them off at school and stuff. So either way, I'll be here to get you guys through it, and appreciate it. As always, we'll see you tomorrow, everybody.